Lady Rena stepped out of the silver craft, her long coat whipping in the wind. The air smelled like smoke and iron. This was Earth, the old world, the forgotten world. Her boots crunched on gravel as she walked toward the tall gates of the Earth government complex. Her ship had landed in silence, but her heart beat loud in her chest. She was here to ask for help. She had no choice. The guards at the gate wore black armor, faces hidden behind metal. They did not speak. They only stepped aside. She walked through the gates alone. No welcome, no honor, just cold silence. Oh. Inside, the building was sharp and dark. Steel walls. Bright lights. No art, no music, nothing soft. She was taken to a room where one man stood waiting. He was tall, his hair short and gray, his eyes like ice. He looked like stone, like someone carved from war. "I am Carter Briggs," he said. "You came to beg." Shh. Rena kept her back straight. "Not beg. Request. Our worlds are falling. We need soldiers." He stepped closer. "You need victory. Do not lie to me." She held his stare. "Yes, we need victory." He nodded once. "Then you do not need soldiers." Her hands curled at her sides. "We asked Earth for help, not nightmares." Carter gave a short breath, almost like a laugh. "Earth no longer sends help. We send results." He turned away and touched a screen. A large map lit up the wall. Names of her worlds flashed red. Destroyed. Taken. Burning. She felt shame rise in her throat. "You thought Earth was weak," he said. "You left us behind. Now you come back because you are losing." Rena's voice was tight. "We did not know what Earth became." "No," he said, turning to her. "You didn't, but you will." He pressed a button on the screen. A single word blinked in red. "Titan's Wrath." "What is that?" she asked. Carter looked her in the eye. "The ship that carries your victory?" Rena felt something cold settle in her bones. She had come to find hope, but now she saw fire. Earth would answer the call, but the price would be high. The ship called Titan's Wrath moved through space like a silent shadow. It was black, massive, and shaped like a blade. It did not shine. It did not blink. It looked like something built for one thing only: war. Inside the ship, 500 soldiers from Earth waited without speaking. They sat in rows, each one dressed in dark armor. Their faces were calm but cold, their eyes empty like deep water. These were not normal men and women. They were made for battle, raised by war, trained to kill without fear. At the front of them stood Elena Griggs. She wore no crown, no medals. Her face had scars and her hair was tied back tight. Her voice was quiet but sharp when she spoke. "You were chosen because you are not normal. You were not made for peace. You are what Earth sends when the stars cry for help." No one replied. They did not need to. Elena walked down the line, her boots heavy on the metal floor. She looked at each soldier. Some had metal arms, some had eyes that glowed red. One man had his chest marked with the names of the cities he had destroyed. These were the Night Brigades, the Iron Legion, the Deadborn. They had fought for Earth in places where even the air wanted to kill them. The mission was simple. Take back the lost worlds. Break the ones who took them. Leave a message in blood. The soldiers checked their weapons. Long blades that could cut steel. Guns that made no sound. Armor that healed itself. Each piece of gear had been tested in fire. There was no ceremony. No prayer. Only orders. As Titan's Wrath reached the first target, the ship grew darker. Lights turned red. Alarms stayed off. No warnings. No mercy. The enemy would not see them coming. Elena stood at the drop bay, her eyes fixed on the planet below. She raised her hand and gave the only signal her army needed. They moved. One by one, the soldiers dropped from the ship like falling stars. Fast, silent, deadly. They did not shout. They did not speak. The people of the colony below looked to the sky. They had asked Earth for soldiers. What came was something else. Keller Prime was a world of fire and stone. Skies were filled with smoke. The cities were full of fear. At the top of the main tower, the warlord sat on a black chair and watched his soldiers march through the streets. He had taken this world by force. He believed no one could stop him. He was wrong. The first sign came in silence. The sky turned red, but there was no sound. No warning. Then the fire fell. One by one, black shapes dropped from the clouds. They landed like thunder. The ground cracked. The people screamed. The enemy soldiers raised their weapons, but it was already too late. The first wave of Earth's soldiers moved fast. They did not shout. They did not stop. Blades flashed. Guns fired. Walls fell. The enemy was strong, but they had never fought like this. These were not men and women from the colonies. These were hunters from Earth. Alina Griggs walked through the broken gates with calm steps. Her armor was marked with dust and blood. Her eyes stayed cold. Behind her, the Iron Legion moved in a perfect line. Every house that once flew the warlord's flag now burned. A young boy from the colony watched from behind a broken wall. He had never seen war like this. The soldiers from Earth did not loot. They did not speak. They only fought. It's fast and clean. He saw one of them stop to lift a crying child and carry her to safety. Then the soldier returned to battle without a word. By the third day, the capital had fallen. The warlord's tower stood silent. His guards were gone. His ships were broken. His flag lay on the ground. Alina climbed the steps alone. She kicked the door open. Inside, the warlord waited with shaking hands. "I was a king," he said. "No," she replied. "You were a thief."
Ow!
She left his body at the foot of his throne. When the people of Keller Prime came out from hiding, they found Earth's flag hanging from the tower. It was black with a single silver mark. They had asked Earth for help. They got fire and steel, but they were free. Freedom had a price. High Queen Morel stood in her glass tower and looked at the stars. One by one, her worlds were falling. Her soldiers were not weak, but they were slow. The enemy came like a wave. No sound, no warning. Only ashes left behind. Reports came daily. One world taken, another world burned. Her lords argued in the war room. Some wanted to fight harder. Others wanted to hide. None had answers. Then came the message from Keller Prime. A single sentence. "We asked Earth for soldiers. They sent monsters." Morel held the paper in her hand for a long time. She had once sworn never to call Earth. Earth was wild, full of rage. Long ago, they had locked Earth away from the high courts. Now someone had opened that gate. She walked into the war room and showed the message to her council. The room fell silent. "Do we stop them?" one lord asked. "Can we?" said another. The queen spoke with calm voice. "They are not an army. They are a storm." Some wanted to send ships to block them. Others said they should speak to the Earth commander. No one knew what Earth wanted. They did not take land. They did not ask for gold. They came, they killed, and they left. The queen sent a message. She asked for a meeting. She asked to speak with the one called Alina Griggs. The answer came hours later. "Speak fast." Morel met Alina on a broken moon between two dead worlds. The place was cold and dark. Alina arrived alone. She wore no crown, no armor, just dark clothes and hard eyes. "You fight like no one else," Morel said. "I fight to end the fight," Alina answered. "What do you want?" Alina said. Alina said, "I want silence. No more warlords, no more chains, no more weak rulers who let people burn." The queen looked at her with sharp eyes. "You want my throne?" Alina said. "I want no throne," Alina said. "I want the fear to end." Two women, one born to rule, one born to rule, one born to fight. The queen returned to her tower with heavy thoughts. Earth was not here to serve. Earth was here to change everything. The throne world Solon V was the heart of the colonies. Tall towers touched the sky. Wide roads shined like silver. Warships circled above like guards in the sky. On the ground, thousands of soldiers stood ready. Big guns pointed to the stars. 3 giant shields covered the planet like walls of light. The people felt safe. Then the sky turned red. Titan's wrath came without a sound. It moved through the stars like a knife. Behind it followed smaller black ships. Inside were Earth soldiers, silent and ready. Alina Griggs stood on the bridge and gave one order. "Burn it." The black ships dropped like fire. The first shield cracked under pressure. The second fell within minutes. The third held for an hour, then broke like glass. The fleet of the colonies tried to stop them, but their ships were slow. Earth's weapons cut them apart. On the ground, the soldiers of the throne world fought hard. They fired all guns. They stood in lines. They had pride. But Earth's army did not stop. They moved like machines, fast and quiet. They broke walls with their hands. They walked through fire without fear. The palace guards gave everything. Still, the gates fell. Queen Morel put on a black coat. She walked down the steps of her palace with a long blade in her hand. Her gold crown was gone. She wore no jewels. She came to fight. In the center of the city, she met Alina. The ground was broken. Smoke filled the air. Round them, fire burned. Alina held two short blades. Her armor was scratched and black. She looked at the queen without hate. "You still stand," Alina said. "I am not afraid," the queen answered. They fought. Steel hit steel. Blood hit stone. Each woman moved like wind. Fast. Strong. Not one step back. Soldiers stopped to watch. No one spoke. In the end, Alina stood over the queen. Her blade was at the queen's neck. "Do it," the queen said. Alina lowered her weapon. "You understand now," she said. Then she turned and walked away. The war was over, not by words, by fire. The throne world was quiet, the guns were silent, the sky was clear, the fires had gone out. Soldiers from Earth stood in the city like shadows. They did not cheer. They did not raise flags. They only waited. Queen Morel walked through the broken streets. The people watched her with wide eyes. Some bowed. Some stood still. She no longer wore her crown. Her steps were slow but strong. The throne was gone, burned, broken. The palace was empty. She stood where her rule had once been strong and knew it would never be the same. But she was alive. Her people were alive. That was enough. Alina Griggs met her at the old council hall. The roof was gone. The walls had holes. Sunlight touched the floor where fire had once burned. "We are not your rulers," Alina said. "Then what are you?" the queen asked. "We are the warning," Alina answered. She placed a small black book on the table. The cover was simple. One silver mark in the center. No title. "It's for you," Alina said. "It is called the Doctrine of Strength. Read it. Learn it. Build from it." The queen opened the book. The pages were filled with clear words. No soft promises. No fine poems. Just lessons. How to train. How to lead. How to make peace through power. "You came and broke my world," the queen said. "I came to stop it from dying," Alina replied. Earth soldiers began to leave. One by one, the black ships rose into the sky. No loot was taken. No songs were sung. They had done their work. The people slowly came out. They began to clean the streets, fix the walls, bury the dead. The war was finished, but the wounds would take time. In the new square, the book from Earth was placed on a tall stone. People gathered to read it. They did not forget the fear, but they remembered the strength. Queen Morel stood before her people and spoke. "We are free, not because Earth gave us mercy, but because they gave us truth. And we rise again, stronger than before." Far above, Titan's wrath flew into the dark. Earth had done what it came to do, and left nothing the same. Years passed. The throne world was no longer broken. The towers were strong again. The streets were clean. Children played where battles had once raged. The people worked hard. They remembered the war. They remembered the fire. But they also remembered who had saved them. Earth had not stayed. It had not claimed power. It had left behind only one thing: the book. The Doctrine of Strength was now taught in every school. As leaders read it, soldiers followed it, even farmers and builders used its words. It was not just a guide, it was a warning. Queen Morel stood on her new tower and looked at the stars. Her crown was simple now. She wore no gold. Her guards were trained under the rules of Earth. She ruled with strength, not fear. But at night, she still thought of the woman with the cold eyes and quiet voice. She thought of Alina Griggs, and the day fire fell from the sky. She knew Earth was watching. Somewhere beyond the stars, they waited. Far away, hidden under black skies and deep clouds, Earth was quiet. No ships left its sky. No messages were sent. The world looked still, but it was never asleep. Inside a gray fortress, children stood in lines. They wore dark clothes. They trained with steel. They learned not just to fight, but to think, to lead, to survive. Lena Griggs walked past them. Her face was older now. Her eyes were the same. Said no kind words. She gave no praise. But every child stood straight when she passed. She stopped beside a boy who had just broken his wooden blade in training. "What did you learn?" she asked. He did not cry. He did not complain. He looked up and said, "The blade breaks." "I do not." She nodded and moved on. Deep under the earth, the machines that built ships were still working. They built in silence. No one outside Earth knew how many ships were ready. No one knew how many soldiers waited. But Earth remembered. If the stars cried for help again, if the weak called for warriors, Earth would answer. Again, they would not send soldiers. They would send monsters.